Hello baking and sweet fans, welcome back or welcome to my channel and to my fall baking series called Fall in Love with Baking. My name is Devin Taylor and I'm the owner and baker of Sweet Notes Bakery, and today in the kitchen things are getting spicy. I don't mean hot spicy, though you are looking good. I am talking fall spices. Today we are making one of my favorite things to make through the fall and the winter. It is a tender, moist, delicious spice cake. As you can see, I have all of my ingredients out here and we'll talk through that. And I've got Ruby, she's my KitchenAid mixer. That's right, I'm one of those people who names things. And you can use a hand mixer, you can use a whisk, and a bowl as well. You don't have to use a mixer at all, but today I'm going to use Ruby. She's going to help me out, and I am going to use the paddle attachment, so you want to go ahead and get that in if you are using a mixer. And for this spice cake, we're going to start just like we would any other cake. We're going to start with our fats and our sugar. Our sugar today is a packed light brown sugar, a cup and 3/4. You want to use light brown sugar or even dark brown sugar if you like that extra flavor over a white granulated sugar, because this has molasses and it's going to give it a darker, deeper, richer taste. Then we're using 3/4 of a cup of just regular vegetable or canola oil and 3/4 of a cup unsweetened or no sugar added applesauce. And here's why. I absolutely love that this recipe uses oil and unsweetened, no sugar added applesauce as the fats instead of butter, because it keeps it super moist and really light. That butter would weigh this mixture down, and this lets the spices shine. No sugar added because we want to control the amount and the kind of sugar that's in what we're making. Now we're going to mix these together until they're nice and combined. You can just mix it on stir. Right now your mixture should kind of look like cinnamon applesauce, just a little bit thinner. And now we're going to add our eggs and vanilla. So this brimming bowl here that I have is 4 eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So you just want to put your mixer on stir, add them a little bit at a time until everything's incorporated, and then turn it off. But make sure we don't overmix in this step. Everything is all combined, so now we're going to get into what makes this cake so delicious, which is the spices. So I have all of my spices in here. We're doing 2½ teaspoons of cinnamon, a full teaspoon of nutmeg, a full teaspoon of ground ginger, and then 1/2 teaspoon of an allspice. If you don't have allspice, you can use pumpkin pie spice. That's perfectly fine. It's just a spice mixture. But that's what we have going in here. If you like yours to have a bit more punch, add a little bit more ginger and a little bit more nutmeg. If you want it to be a little bit milder, you want to cut back on those two things. So, spices in. I seriously love the smell of this. Then I have 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of baking powder. And we're just going to incorporate those on low. Now your mixture has this dark, rich color. It smells amazing. And we're down to just 2 ingredients. See, that was really easy. So I have 2 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. If you wanted to, you could do 1/2 all-purpose flour and 1/2 cake flour. Cake flour is just going to make it even more tender and moist. But I find with this recipe, I like the all-purpose because we're not using butter, because we're using oil and applesauce instead. The all-purpose flour gives it that little bit of extra structure. So if you break it down too much, it's going to get thin, and then I think it kind of has a soggy feel to it, and I want this to have a nice, springy, bouncy texture. So 2 1/4 cup flour and 1 cup of buttermilk, but you all know I use my buttermilk powder and water. If you don't know that trick, check out the video in my summer series where I talk about that. And we're just going to alternate these two ingredients in the mixer until everything is nice and combined. Scrape everything down from the sides and from the paddle because we want to make sure everything gets nice and incorporated. And you will notice that as it was mixing, the color has gotten a much lighter brown, kind of caramelly color. Welcome back. I cleaned up a little, switched some things around to make space. I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees. Our batter here is finished and it looks beautiful. This is going to be a thinner batter, so don't be alarmed by that. Your thicker batters will have butter. Your thinner batters generally will have oil, so that is perfectly okay. Don't worry if you think it looks runny. At this point, you can split this evenly between two 9-inch round cake pans and bake cake layers. You could dump this into a larger pan if you wanted to just do like a single sheet as far as the spice cake, or you could do cupcakes, which is what I'm doing today. You could do mega cupcakes, whatever you want. So today I'm doing 24 standard size cupcakes, and let's get scooping. I have my cupcakes all scooped out. Something to know with this batter, you're going to have batter left over. It's going to make more than 24 cupcakes because we do not want to fill these all the way to the top. These should be 3/4 of the way full at most. If you overfill them, fill them right to the top, they're going to have no place to go. They're going to look great in the oven, and the second you pull them out, they're going to sink. I know you'll be tempted, but put down the spatula and the scoop. Do not add any more batter. Now we're gonna pop these into the preheated 350 degree oven for about 18 minutes. That's when I usually like to check them. If they need a minute longer, perfect. If not, I know I can do a minute less on the next batch, but we're gonna do 18 minutes and then I'll show you the finished product in a close-up when they come out. Here they are right out of the oven. Look how puffy and beautiful. And this is why we don't overfill them, so we get this. Now, the spring test. Do they spring back? Let's see. Yep, beautiful, and they smell so good. Thank you all so much for joining me in the kitchen today. I hope you enjoyed baking one of my fall favorites, the spice cake, and I hope you try it out at home. I will drop the link to the recipe in the description box. While you're there, you might as well check out my other social media platforms if you want to follow me, my journey, and my new bakery updates in Williamsport. Follow me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, and for a good laugh, you might as well just follow my TikTok. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, share this with someone you love or that you know loves baking, give this video a big thumbs up, and as always, have a sweet day.